G'day guys, welcome back. My name is Wildkard, and kia ora to all the Crusader fans watching this video. And yes, this is a Good Friday game for the Crusaders versus Fijian Drua. Quite entertaining game, I think, but it's really loose, really relaxed, and lots of tries being scored. Whatever you say, but this was, the Crusaders wanted to put on a show for the fans for the final game at, it's apparently the official name is apparently Rugby League Stadium, Rugby League Park, but it's currently called the Apollo Project. It used to be called like Orange Theory. All sorts of sponsors' names has been applied to the stadiums before. But yeah, it is a temporary place for the Crusaders, essentially, after the 2011 earthquake damaged their, the main stadium in Christchurch, and they built a new one in the city. And the Crusaders going to be playing that starting next home game, and that's pretty big change. 2012 was when they started playing there, so it's like what 14 years at this point, and it's been like it's like blink of an eye, and it's been 14 years that they've been here in Rugby League Park for the Crusader fans, and lots of championship over the years as well. And this is the ground where Cody Taylor started, and was his 150th test cap here as well. Also where he debuted for the for the All Blacks as well here in this stadium. So yeah, plenty of history, plenty of memories to all the Crusaders fans, and 4 tries for Mr. Cody Taylor himself as well tonight. So quite a big show put out for the fans. And with that being said, in typical one-eye fashion, the referees was just a little bit head scratching when it comes to some of those 4 passes tonight. A couple of pretty big ones. Honestly, I just don't know what is happening. Sometimes. So this one here, literally playing NFL for the Crusaders, and it's like, what are you guys actually doing, right? Like, it's so obvious that this was going forward. Yeah, I don't know how that's not called. And then you have another one here. This one, you could argue that he might be flat. Right, Will Jordan makes a nice break, and he gets kind of tripped over, and he pops it clearly forward to his teammate. I think that's Xiaofun or whatever his name is. But sometimes I talk about forward passes. Like if you were running forward and you throw the ball all kind of like drifts forwards as a result of your forward momentum as the ball carrier. But in this situation where Will Jordan is clearly on the ground and he does not have that forward momentum that's gonna be carried over onto the ball when he passes it. And also, they talk about in this situation, you kind of want to look at the ball coming out of the hands. If we look at the next angle, it clearly looked like it came out of the hands forward as well for Will Jordan. Like the palm, it's open forward towards the try line. You can see that clearly looked like it's even come out of the hands forward. But yeah, I don't know how the TMO looked at this in the process of deciding whether the try was legally scored or not, and said that this was okay. And really a big scratcher, but it is one-eye Crusader country. You kind of get what you were expecting. But that aside, there's one other thing I want to talk about when it comes to the referee's decision, and this has more, this is more, this is more influential when it comes to how the game is being adjudicated all around the world, and whether or not they're going to do this at a more consistent case. We'll have to wait and see. But the 4 passes, it's not really that nearly as important as what we're about to see here. So this is where the Fijian Drua had a penalty advantage inside the opposition 22, and as far as we've seen in the last, I don't know, probably 10 years, as far as I can remember, when you get a penalty advantage inside the opposition 22, in fact, anywhere in the sort of like, inside the opposition half, you really have to get a good attempt at scoring a try from this position before the referee will call an advantage over. Even like we've seen teams play like 20 phases and they still go back to the penalty. But some people say that's just a bit too much. But genuinely speaking, you do want it to see that the team gets a good attempt at at scoring a try before you call it advantage over or go back to the no advantage, right? Because that's a position like this. It's pretty much a guaranteed 3 points for the team that's been given the penalty, and you really want them to, you really wanted to encourage the team to take the opportunity to score it into a 7 instead of just call it advantage over immediately, right? So with that in mind, I just want to watch this and see how quickly Paul Williams called advantage over, and just take a mental note on where the penalty is given as well, so we can see that the arm is out right here. So the penalty is given about 5 meters inside the 22, so 15 meters out from the try line, right? So from here going forward, I would say that the only way you can call this advantage over is if Fijian Drua goes for a try and it was like held up or like disallowed or something. Otherwise, there's no way this should be advantage over in any other circumstance, right? So the Druas has advanced forward from the initial point of advantage, and the referee basically allowed the game to play 6 phases and called it advantage over. He did give warning to. He did at this point. He did say, we're not hearing it, but he did say to the halfback that, hey, you still got an advantage. I'm not gonna kind of like take it away from you. He did like kind of insinuated that the advantage needs to be used right now, otherwise it's gonna be kind of over. But I just don't think that is correct, because as you can see, the Druas got probably about 10 meters forward, because they were about 5 meters in from the 22. Now they're about 5, so just a little bit over 10 meters forward from the where advantage was given at this point, and the referee says advantage over. So the advantage is gone here, and so when the advantage is given, there was phase 8, so now it's 15. So it's 6, 7 phases after the advantage was given, and the team has advanced, let's say 15 meters, right? Let's just be a bit generous and say 15 meters, and the referee called an advantage over. Now, by the current standard of advantage, this is like in no way, shape, or form consistent of how it's adjudicated around the world. And because one of the things you want to think about, right? If the team did not take the just like put the ball down and say, "Yep, we're gonna go to the corner," what would they get out of that, right? So they would have an opportunity for a 5-meter line out at least from this position, or 3 points at least, and then they would have been building another 5, 6, 7 phases pretty close to the try line, right? As a result. And the fact that the Fijian Drua has never even reached the 5-meter line, which is a very likely spot where they're going to kick the ball out for the 5-meter line out, it means that the Fijian Drua has not reached the minimum distance that they would have got if they had taken the penalty option to go for the line out, right? So they haven't even got the minimum distance for a line out, and the referee's already called advantage over. That's number one, where I think this is absolutely the wrong call. Number two, right? Number two, in this situation where 3 points is on the line, and if the referee deemed that this is, the Fijian Drua isn't going to do anything with the advantage, he should have just called advantage over and gone back for the penalty, instead of just completely taking the advantage away. Because because you have just taken away 3 points off the table after just 6 phases, when no threat has actually been applied to the opposition. This is also inside the opposition 22, which means that there needs to be a significant amount of threat to be applied before you can call it an advantage over. Like if this was at 50 meters out from the try line, I can say, okay, fair enough. You've gone up 15 meters, fair enough. Let's just play on, right? You're going back and you're going to kick the ball down and do a line out about the same spot. Fair enough, because there's no threat. But this is like significant threat, significant pressure inside the 22, and the referee calling an advantage over. Really, really bad call. And what is interesting is this decision was made, and I just want everybody to keep in mind, every New Zealand commentator agreed with this decision and said this is how it should be. this is how it should be. Like, here, right? This is where the advantage should be over, at minimum, because he's actually gone past the point where they would have taken the line out. If they just put the ball down and said, we're going to go for the line out, passing the 5-meter line. Might be the point you might say, hey, they might have taken the advantage and it could be advantage over. But they have never even got past the 5-meter line. And the referee, obviously, this was a no try. And then it was just a turnover because advantage over. So yeah, just wanted to take note of this because, you know, at some point in the future, I'm sure we're going to see a test match and a decision like this being called. Maybe we'll see it, maybe not. And if we do see it, I wonder if the Kiwi pundits going to say the same thing. That's the right decision, right? Especially if it's the All Blacks on the receiving end of it. But I doubt any referee will have the balls to do that. And then also, is this the direction we wanted to go, right? In the name of, you know, speeding the game up, just completely taking away the advantage. Because if you do this, what's going to end up happening is that the teams are going to go, hey, we don't want to lose the advantage, but going forward like 10 meters, and then suddenly the referee calling an advantage over after 5 phases where we haven't really done anything, right? And they're just putting the ball down deliberately and actually slowing the game down because they're afraid to lose the advantage because the referee could just stupidly decide the advantage was over when there was literally no threat of a try being scored when you were given a penalty inside the 22, right? I think you can actually get out with in teams going, okay, we get an advantage now, let's immediately do a kick, and then if that doesn't work out, let's go back for the line out. Or they're just going to be like, all right, we're not going to do anything, let's just put the ball down, and then we go for the 3 points, or we go for the line out, right? And you're actually going to get more stoppage, and you're going to get more stoppage, less rugby, less risk being taken, less entertaining product as a result because of this stupid shit. Because you're trying to speed the game up, because you think, there's too much advantage being played, you're actually going to make the game worse. So, like, is this the direction we want to go? If it is, I hope it's consistent. I hope the commentary don't complain about it when it's applied to the All Blacks. And if it's not the way, if it is the one to go, and also I don't think this is going to make the game better. It's going to make the game slower. And we're going to see more, like, teams literally not taking risks, less risks, and less entertainment. But yeah, I just want everybody to point this out. And if this is the direction, no complaining. No complaining. When things get worse as a result. But anyway, let's talk about some other stuff of the game. My little rant there. So yeah, this was to be honest, when the Drua played that Fijian style of rugby, just like fingertip stuff, passing and offloading, they look really, really good and really, really threatening. Some areas that really hurt the Drua was obviously the set piece. The Crusaders, you know, how many times have we seen this, rolling their sleeves up, just pound you with the rolling more, and then the forward just, you know, carries it through for tries. We've seen that just winning championships from just doing that for the Crusaders. And the Drua once again was not able to cope with that in this game. I really thought that the Drua has improved a lot in terms of their set piece defense, especially around the line out, around the maul defense. But yeah, just unfortunately, I don't know. This game just really felt like almost like a barbarian game where people were just. It really didn't feel like. I don't want to sound like disrespectful. It really didn't feel like it felt like a show match than an actual, you know, an actual contest to be honest with you. So there was not. Yeah, I thought that the Crusaders was able to get away with a lot of quite easy forward momentum from their forward pack, especially when it comes to line out and the more, and then Drua was not able to defend the advantage line and getting rolled through. But like when the Drua attacked themselves, the Crusaders was pretty poor in their defense as well, giving away repeated penalties. Now there was a yellow card against the Crusaders for repeated penalties as well, so not really disciplined in that regard. Under pressure, but and ultimately, in the end of the day, I do think that, you know, it is, I do think that, I don't know, maybe it's public holiday coming up and everybody's just in a bit of holiday mode for this one, but still plenty of tries being scored. I think, you know, the Canterbury fans will be pretty happy to see this as the final game for Rugby League Park at Rugby League Park for the Crusaders for the Crusaders franchise. So yeah, 69 points to 26. Let's have a quick look at the match stats of the game. 11 tries to 4, 504 run meters for the Crusaders to the Fijian Drua 390. 132 carries for the Fijian Drua 150. The Druas actually ran more, but got fewer meters from their efforts. Defenders beaten. 23 defenders beaten for the Crusaders. 24 for the Endurers. Actually more defenders beaten for the Endurers, and this is probably where the Endurers got hurt quite a bit. 24 turnovers, with the Crusaders only conceding 17. 206 tackles made for the Crusaders. 24 missed tackles. 101 tackles made for the Endurers. 23 missed tackles there as well. 21 kicks in play for the Crusaders. 13 for the Endurers. Conversions, this wasn't great for the Crusaders overall. 7 out of 11, with the Endurers only missing 1 out of 4. Kick meters from hand, there's like almost no kick meters at all for the Endurers. 230. That is really, really low. Kick meters from hand, and 519, pretty low for Crusaders standards as well. Lineouts, 15 for the Crusaders, no loss. 7 for the Endurers, 2 loss. Scrums, quite even overall. Not too much dominance for the Crusaders. Scrum, I thought maybe a little bit tilting towards the Crusaders, but the Endurers was able to do quite well to stay. I guess there was like, even though when the Crusaders were kind of like pushing forward, the Endurers did really well to kind of hold on to their structure, not crumbling or standing up, and then just waited for the referee to call taking the ball out without conceding a penalty. 10 penalties conceded for both teams. There was a yellow card given against Crusader. I thought there could be 2 yellow cards, to be quite frank with you. The referee's given a warning, and then one player got sent off, and then 2 more penalties were given out before the Endurers was scored another try. I thought one of the players could have been sent off as well as a result of subsequent penalties immediately after the yellow card. But hey, let's do a quick point summary. A lot of tries being scored. My goodness. Yeah, maybe just go watch the replay. I don't want to really go through all of this. This was just a little bit too much. There was a bunch of more tries. Some good offloads in the backline. Will Jordan did really well. Fihaki did some pretty good plays as well. And then yeah, just go watch the replay for both of these for this game. It's, quite a lot of razzle dazzle was on the field. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. Like and comment and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. And thanks for watching. Have a good one. See you guys tomorrow. Cheers.